Hi, I'm Emmeline, aka Winterstar, and in this video I will be teaching you how to grow your art following on Instagram, coming from somebody who went from 500 to about 10,000 followers in just 1 year. Also coming from somebody who did not have success at all on Instagram as an artist for a while. So now that I know what to do, I want to share that with you. So let's get into the video. Instagram, I think, is the kind of default platform for a lot of artists to start with, but recently I have heard a lot of people saying about how, oh, Instagram is dying, there's no way to gain a following on there anymore, it's just not worth it. That has not been my experience. I think that it's definitely still possible to grow a large and somewhat dedicated following on Instagram, even if the algorithm is not always the kindest to artists. First off, to set yourself up for success, you need to make sure you have a good profile. So let's talk about that first. When you are first setting up your Instagram profile, there are a couple things you want to make sure of. For your name and handle, make it consistent with any other social media platforms you have, and also make sure it's unique, but also easy to spell and say so people are able to actually find you. For your profile picture, I found it's helpful to have one reminiscent of any branding you might have or related to the type of artwork you create and post. So that way when people see your profile picture, they can instantly know what they're getting themselves into. It also helps if you don't change it too often so people don't get confused. For your bio, it is one of the first things that people see when they come onto your page, and you can use it for a ton of different things. Here's what I use mine for. First off, I have the tagline kind of for my brand, which is aesthetic merch for nerdy people. This lets people know right off what exactly I am creating and who it's for. I then have a line about my art shop updates, as well as if I have commissions open or not, and then finally a section for my links. Having a line about when my next art shop update is, as well as my commissions, lets people know that they can expect artwork from me that I will be selling to them. This kind of sets the expectations right, as well as helps people know when they can expect to find new art from me. This bio is a super important thing to have on your profile page because, again, it's the first thing that people see, and if they don't like what they see there, they might not even follow you. While it might be tempting to have kind of an inside joke for you and your friends, or just something completely random, you should think carefully about what you are putting in this bio because, again, this is an important place on your profile. For all of these things, just doing these small things to set up your profile can help set you up for success moving forward. So let's talk a little bit more about that. When you first start posting on your Instagram account, you need to be consistent. When I first started posting art on my Instagram, I was also doing cosplay, which is making costumes based on various fandoms, and I would post it all to the same account. Foam armor one day, video game fan art the next. And while I was growing a little bit, I was getting some followers and some engagement, I wasn't growing nearly as much as I would have liked to. A big part of the problem was that people would see my Instagram page and they might like the cosplay and they might like the art, but they wouldn't always like both of them. And so they would eventually unfollow me, or they just wouldn't follow me at all because they didn't want to see both of these things together. I was trying to cover two separate niches and appeal to two different audiences, and it just wasn't working. If you're posting art to try and grow your art following or your art business, you should post that art. You can post your time lapses, your sketches, your finished pieces, your animations, your products, your merch, your commissions, anything related to that art. But you don't need to be posting other things, because those other things can distract people from your art, and it can also make it so that they might not want to see those things, and so they might unfollow you when you could be having people follow you just for your art. Whatever you're posting on your Instagram, it should fit with what you've decided your brand is. If your brand is posting about art, you don't need to post your cosplays or your outfits or your pets on there, even if they might be very cute, because it is not in your niche. If you are also trying to sell your art, you need to make sure that you're posting about that too. You don't want to be salesy or spam it all the time, but you do need to make sure that your followers do know that you have an art shop or you take commissions or freelance work, because otherwise people aren't going to be able to give you money for these things because they don't even know that these things exist. Once I made a separate account for my art and a separate one for my cosplay, I started growing a lot more, like 500 to 10,000 followers in about a year on Instagram, and then 0 to 14,000 on TikTok, which is crazy. I did have a couple of false starts when I was trying to market my sticker shop, but once I actually narrowed it down and started posting things that really resonated with my brand and my audience, I was able to grow my Instagram by a lot more. The people I wanted to sell my art to found me and followed me. The billions of other people in the world, the people who might have liked me for my cosplay or possibly, pet photos or cute outfits, those people I didn't need to worry about marketing my art to because they weren't the people who were interested in it, so I didn't need to waste time posting content for them. See, social media is fun because they want you to be on their app all the time, and so if you are doing things that make you stay on the app and help other people stay on the app, then they like you. So let's talk a little bit about the Instagram algorithm and how you can please them and make them not hate you. In a nutshell, you need to be creating quality, consistent content that resonates with your audience, which sounds really simple but also very complicated, but let's talk a little bit more about the specifics for that. Instagram likes you to be consistent. It wants you to be posting frequently, like once every 1 to 2 days. You can also be posting on your story, which helps Instagram see that you're still around and still active. In my experience, your story will be seen almost entirely by people who are already following you. Static posts or image carousels will be seen mostly by your followers, but sometimes by non-followers as well. And reels will be seen about equal part followers and non-followers, with sometimes a big spike in the amount of non-followers who can see you, which can really help you grow. Despite initially being a photo posting platform, Instagram does not really love photos right now, which is why I have had the most success with Reels. Reels are Instagram's attempt to copy the success of TikTok. With Reels, you can create a short-form piece of vertical video content. People typically scroll through Reels, and if it doesn't capture their attention, they'll just move on. So you need to capture people's attention right away, whether that is an engaging audio, quick changing images, or moving text. Even just a static image of your art with a trending Reels audio posted as a Reel is better than posting a static image of that artwork. Having some text also helps because then people have to pause to read it. When Instagram sees people staying on your post longer, whether they're rewatching the video a couple of times, or they're commenting, or they're engaging with it, or just reading the text, this shows them this content is good and they can show it to more people. This is what you want. You don't want people to just quickly scroll through your reel, not engage with it, not look at it for more than 2 seconds and then move on. That is not what you want. For Reels, I found that you don't really need to use tags for them. Currently, Instagram, from what I found, uses a couple things to decide who to show your Reels to. The first off is keywords, any words that you might mention in the description of this reel. Second is the categories, which you can select 3 of for each reel. And third is the words that you are saying, or else the audio that you are using. For art, I found it best to choose keywords relating to the art, relating to the fact that I am a small business and an artist, or relating to the fandom, character, or type of artwork that I am creating. I will include a couple of these keywords in the description of my reels just to kind of help give it a boost and let Instagram know who to show it to. If I don't have a specific audio that maybe I'm lip syncing to or using for kind of a funny trending moment, I will also just use whatever audio is popular or trending at the time, whatever kind of fits the vibes of what I'm posting or is popular with a particular fandom or niche. I make a lot of art inspired by things like Hermitcraft and the Life series, and there are definitely songs that those people and those fandoms really like. So by posting those songs in my reels, I can attract more of that audience. This is why it's super helpful to know who it is that you're posting for, so you're not trying to market to just the whole world. If I am ever posting a static image post, I will usually post it as a carousel where I have multiple images. This at least makes people scroll through all of the images so they stick around on the post longer, and Instagram thinks that they like it more, which is what we want. Again, I really don't use hashtags for my static posts either because they just haven't been super helpful. If you click on the post insights for your posts and your reels, you can see where people are coming from and how they are finding and engaging with that piece of content. Hashtags is not usually super high for me. The main thing, again, is to be posting quality, consistent content that resonates with your audience. And since you are probably just a solo person running this whole art thing that you're doing, you want to make sure that you are doing things that don't take you a huge amount of time and be able to repurpose your content. For example, if you drew this piece of artwork and it took you 5 hours and all you did from it was just post it to Instagram one time and that's it, that's 5 hours of work for one post, which is not super fantastic. But if you use that one drawing for several things, maybe a funny trending audio, maybe a quick time lapse, an art reveal, doing close-ups of all of the little details, you could show yourself turning it into an art print or turning it into a sticker, or with a funny moment relating to that fandom or just a piece of artwork. You can use this one piece of artwork for so many different pieces of content. Because making this content for social media can be really time consuming and you don't want to make it harder on yourself than it already is. Especially because, again, Instagram likes you to post once every 1 to 2 days. If you're looking for a specific time, I usually post around 10 to 12 in the morning. Why? Because if I look at my Instagram analytics, this is when most of my followers are active, and I want to post things when they are active. I mentioned a little bit, but make sure that you are looking at your Instagram analytics. If you have a professional or creator account, you should have access to all of these analytics and be able to see how people are finding you, what type of content they're engaging with, where your audience is from, how old they are. All of these things can be super helpful when you're planning out what type of content to create next. Because overall, while you might want to have a lot of followers on Instagram, having a ton of followers doesn't really help you if they're not people who don't care about you and care about your art. Because at the end of the day, you want to have an audience that you can connect with and who can feel connected with you. Because having this bond with your audience and with your followers can really help you grow. I've talked about knowing your audience a little bit already, but it is definitely so important to know who you are creating this content for, who you want to show your art to, because you will be creating vastly different content if you're creating it for a 40-year-old man from the United States than if you are creating it for an 18-year-old who lives in the UK. These are just super different demographics, especially with their personal interests. So make sure that you know who your audience is so you can create content that appeals to them. If you have no idea who your audience is and you're not sure how to figure it out, you can just start with yourself. Create the type of content that you would like to see if you were scrolling through Instagram, because that way you can create a community of like-minded people who like the same things that you do. Because if you don't like the art that you're creating and the art that you're posting, then you're going to probably get burned out, and that is not what we want. Whoever you decide that your audience might be, make sure that you're creating content for them, like you would be if you were getting somebody a Christmas present. Just a little gift for your audience every time that you post. In this video, I talked about a lot of different ways to grow your Instagram following as an artist. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like and subscribe, and stick around for more ways to help yourself grow your following on social media as an artist, as well as grow your art business. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.